Hi, I am Igor Nevzorov. Welcome to Copyrighted Dreams. In our videos we cover stories related both to intellectual property law and history of humankind from the places where important events occurred. First intellectual property landmark is the Louvre Museum. Louvre is not only one of the world's largest museums. It is a place where the oldest intellectual property law is physically located. The Code of King Hammurabi dated the year 1755 BC. It is a law embodied into a black stone stele, and it consists of 282 laws. Principal provisions: first ever rights of authorship and integrity that are embodied into the code prohibit any amendments or illegal appropriation of the text of those laws.
If this ruler does not esteem my words, if he destroys the law which I have given, corrupt my words, change my monument, efface my name, write his name there, may the great God withdraw from him the glory of royalty, break his scepter, curse his destiny.
On the other side of Seine, just at the opposite of the Louvre, there is the Orsay Museum, that houses the largest collection of impressionists in the world. From intellectual property law perspective, the Orsay is a landmark of long-lasting copyrights. This year, 2019, we commemorate a century since the death of Auguste Renoir. Surprisingly, some of his masterpieces are still copyrightable and are not in public domain. During the last years of his life, Auguste Renoir was the author of several sculptures, like The Judgment of Paris, Venus Victorix. Those sculptures were created by his apprentice, Richard Guinaud, under supervision and active involvement of Renoir. Following the United States court decision and Paris court tribunal, Guinaud was recognized as the co-author of Renoir. Since Guinaud died only in 1973, all sculptures created by Renoir with the involvement of Guinaud are protected by copyrights, at least until the year 2043. In addition to those works of Renoir, masterpieces of Henri Matisse, Pablo Picasso, Marc Chagall exhibited at the Orsay are still protected by copyrights, while pictures of Manet, Degas, Van Gogh, Modigliani, Gauguin and Pissarro are in public domain now. This building is Ministry of External Relations of France. Exactly in this building, Paris Convention of Industrial Property was finally signed, and from this side we see bridge of Alexander III, Russian Emperor. The Paris Convention, the first global intellectual property treaty, was signed by 11 countries in the Salle of Horloge. Today, more than 175 jurisdictions are members of this convention. The irony is that precisely during the years of reign of Alexander III in Russia, the Paris Convention was signed. However, due to isolationism of his government, it was not signed by the Russian Empire, even considering that Russia was among initial members who discussed principal provisions of this convention. We are wrapping up our first part of this boat trip near Eiffel Tower. Famous Tour Eiffel, constructed exactly 130 years ago in 1889. It is a symbol of modern Paris and France. The popular legal position states that Tour Eiffel itself is in public domain now, since Gustave Eiffel died in 1923. However, night illumination of the Eiffel Tower created only in 1989, is still protected by copyrights. This position was supported by French courts, including the Court of Cassation of France in 1992. At the same time, some sources show that Tour Eiffel, even in daylight, can be protected by copyrights. We will cover those legal peculiarities in a different episode dedicated to intellectual property aspects of Tour Eiffel. As of now, we are completing the first part of our boat trip exploring intellectual property landmarks of Paris. In our next video we will come back with our second part. We will see the place where Adolf Hitler dreamed about overall European harmonization of trademarks and patents. We will discuss famous French bouquinists and will find the Notre Dame Cathedral just one day before its devastating fire to explore its intellectual property mysteries. See you next time in our next location and with new stories.